They had nothing here to stop them. They circled around and came back down, swooped around, and took off. They would have seen us all out on the Padang. The crew of the aircraft carrier, or the bomber rather. They would have spotted us all because there was nothing there left for the Japs to shoot back at them.
No.
No.
So was that the last bombing raid?
Yeah, that was when they bombed Kobe House out.
Yes.
Then we went up in the mountains. Then we came back and onto the. That was when it was really scary because the camp we were in at the end there were 60 chimney stacks, and we were in a school for the workers at that factory.
Yes.
Yeah, and the exciting part about it was, Peter, when we went to work and came and we just marched to work, and then they left us, and we saw them all sitting around the office, and then we noticed there was women were crying, and even some Jap blokes were crying, and then after about an hour, they come and said, no work today. They marched us back to camp. And then as we were marching back, we could see the other guys from the other parts of the wharf marching back. And they said, what do you know? And I said, it's all over. And of course, when we got back, and after we were back all in the camp from the jobs, the camp commander, Takanaka, he gets up on the soapbox and said that at the moment the gods are on our side, but you will soon be going back to work. Although that was the last we ever seen or heard of him. That was it. And that night, this chap that was, we used to call him Maxie Bear, he looked like Maxie Bear the boxer. He had a soft spot for the prisoners of war. Apparently he and another nip went out and they came back with a couple of cases of oranges and dished out these oranges to us, gave us all an orange each. And then they gave us permission to, instead of sleeping where we were sleeping with the fleas and that, the bugs were eating us, to go up on the roof. It was a flat top roof. And then 2 o'clock in the morning the air raid siren went. We hadn't gone to sleep, we were that excited about it. The air raid siren started and all the lights that had been allowed to stay on were all switched off. And apparently a bomber had come in that had broken a treaty. There was no planes that were supposed to fly over the mainland until the treaty was signed, and this plane apparently came in, and we thought that the war wasn't finished.
Yes.
But it turned out it was all a mistake. It should never happen. And as I say, that we never saw the Jap commander again after that.
So where were you shifted from? Where were you shifted to when you started your return journey to Australia?
I went from Kobe to Yokohama, and then from Yokohama to Okinawa, and then from Okinawa to Manila.
Yes.
And then from Manila I got on board the Formidable and sailed to Sydney. Then from Sydney I came around, and I think it was the Dominion Monarch.
Yes.
All the war brides were on board with the Dominion Monarch. I came home on that.
Now when you're on the Formidable, do you remember an Aboriginal on it who had no feet? His legs were missing?
No, but there was one from my unit, not my unit, out the Kobe House.
Yeah.
He had hurt both his legs. He fell from the ship and landed on his feet. And he damaged that bad. He was on, I think he was on crutches. He may have had to have something done to his legs when he got home.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was on the Formidable a fellow named David Runge, who'd had both his feet amputated.
Yeah, I never actually met him.
No, but you were aware of him being
there?
Because he would have been had to be carried around everywhere.
Yeah, well, I never made contact with him.
No.
There was that many on board the ship.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, we were really treated like lords on board that ship, I tell you. It was a terrific, the way the Pommies treated us.
Yes.
It was top class.
Yeah.
And that was where I saw film that nobody else would have seen, that's actual, taken by the guys, the front photographers, you know, front line photographers. they did a terrific job there with those flamethrowers, the Japanese in those caves.
In Okinawa.
Yeah, and it shows you that even in the trees, the fat dripping out of their body, and they put the flamethrower on them, and them running out of the caves and cooking them. Amazing, that actual photo, you know, the film that was actually taken by those guys.
Yes.
They go right up the front line.
Yes.
You don't hear much about that, though, do you?
No, you certainly don't.
No, that's real stuff. I say to people, you don't actually know exactly what really happens in some parts of the war.
Yes.
It's all kept secret.
Yeah.
These guys in the rubber trees, where it's 1 minute it's just, you can't see anything because there's so much foliage. Next minute you see a Jap stringing and fat just pouring out of him, where there's flamethrowers on him, cooking him. Actual film taken of it.
Yes.
Not stuff that you think, oh, that might have happened. It did actually happen. Yeah. And just imagine in those caves where how hot it must have been inside, with the flamethrower.
Yes.
Putting it down the front of the cave, and you see all that, and trying to run out into it.
Yeah, rather frightening.
Yeah.
Now, John, a couple of difficult questions. What was the worst thing that you experienced as a prisoner of war, or even in the battle for Singapore?
One would be Changi, Frank Rubery, Spike Rubery, begging for me to help him, and he was dying, and I knew I couldn't help him. Dying of amoebic dysentery, where I knew he had no chance of living, because the doctor had told us.
Do you remember who the doctor was?
Dr. Bruce Hunt.
Major Bruce Hunt, yes. And what do you think of Major Bruce Hunt?
He's number one as far as I was concerned in Changi. He stopped the outbreak of dysentery because as the Dutch soldiers never used paper when they went to the toilet. They used their dixies or bowls where they used to eat their meals out of, and never sterilised them. And according to Bruce Hunt, they were cause of the outbreak of dysentery. And he wouldn't have a bar of them, and he wouldn't treat them. They were all sent to their own doctors in Changi. He wouldn't have anything to do with the Dutch soldiers on those grounds. And through him being so strict, the outbreak of dysentery wasn't so bad.
And that was in, once again, Roberts Barracks Hospital.
Yeah.
And what's the sort of the best experience, or the best, I'm grasping for the right thing, what did you take out of being a prisoner of war which has maybe enriched your life?
Look, I think as an individual, I'd made up my mind. I knew that pneumonia was a killer in Japan, and I always felt I wanted to get home, and I knew that